He says, if you knew about God's gift of eternal life and who it is who says, give me a drink, you would have asked him instead, and he would have given you living water, eternal life.
Oh my God.
Now, the thing I like about Jesus is because he's Jesus and he spends time with the Father. He be touching stuff that you ain't even talking about.
In other words, reading mails and things
Reading
like that.
mail.
Yeah,
That's it. So she's talking about water, water, water. You Jews don't have nothing to do with us, and blah 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 blah. And Jesus says, "Hey, if you knew about God's gift of eternal life and who it is who says, 'Give me drink,' you would have asked him instead. Would you give? He would have given you living water, eternal life." So she is arguing from the place of, "You Jews hate us." He's coming at her with, if you knew about the eternal gift of God, if you knew about the gift of God, the of eternal life, and who it is who says to give me what you would have asked. In other words, you're bitter, and I come to bring you water,
the true water,
the true water.
the living water.
You got to in other words, you got to deal with your bitterness to get what it is I have for you.
Wow, that's deep.
We don't receive from God, not because God's not good. It's because we have contention in our heart. We have anger. We have bitterness. We have spite in us that keeps us from receiving that good thing that comes from God. And that's what this woman was. She was living on the history of y'all hate us. That's all she knew. Y'all hate us, y'all hate us, you have always hated us, and blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's going to get deeper. Trust me.
Wow.
She said to him, "Sir," again, she's a natural woman. "Sir, you have nothing to draw with, no bucket and rope, and the well is deep. Where then do you get that living water? Are you greater than our father Jacob, who gave us the well, and who used to drink from it himself and his sons and his cattle also?" Jesus answered her, "Everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again. But whoever drinks the water that I give him will never be thirsty again. But the water that I give him will become in him a spring of water, satisfying his thirst for God, welling up continually, flowing, bubbling with him to eternal life." Stop. Now,
Ooh, okay.
most of us are city people, right? We're city people, city people. My mother was a country girl from North Carolina. And I heard stories about what it was like living in the country. And the place where they lived, back in the woods, behind the house, there was a spring. Well, what's a spring? Well, a spring is a place where water just comes up out of the, out of the ground. Nobody dug a hole. Nobody, put a well. It just sprung up out of, and it would be clean, fresh, and cold all year long. And they would go back there, and usually it was the kids would go back there, or sometimes the adults, but they would go back there with a bucket and gather up water to drink. A spring. This woman's talking about a well. But with a well, you got to do the labor of getting that bucket in there, drawing it down, filling it up, and then drawing it up with the rope, and put it in whatever you're going to carry it in. That's a well. Jesus is talking about a spring. He's talking about something that's going to bubble up on the inside of you without your labor. And a spring it's 100 times better than a well. Because what a spring does is it bubbles up on its own. No labor from me. I just got to be at the place where it's bubbling up. And he's talking about the water he's going to give is not a well. It's a spring. It's going to bubble up on the inside of you. Keep you nourished. Keep you free from thirst. Okay? This is eternal. This comes from God.
So
See, we've
yeah.
been laboring for stuff from God, and He says, no, 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 no. I got a spring. Let me come in, and I'll bring that water. I'll bring it up on the inside of you, where you'll never thirst again.
This is the water of God.
This is the water of God.